Decidedly. This is Dr. Chris's Radio of Horror YouTube channel, and hopefully everybody had a fantastic Halloween as we start into November with a brand new Terminator movie. Is it Terminator 3? Is it Terminator 6? Is it better than Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which is what a lot of people are comparing it to in terms of the best Terminator sequel ever? Cati, the blonde in front of fear, returns to talk about Terminator Dark Fate Part 3, Part 6.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I consider this Terminator Dark Fate, directed by Tim Miller, who many will know from, what was it, Deadpool.
Deadpool.
This movie did not have the laughs that Deadpool had. And then starring Mackenzie Davis, Natalie Reyes.
It kind of did.
Not as funny as Deadpool, though. I will say that
No,
there
but
was a little bit of funny parts. The legends Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton are also in this film. From the get-go, the nostalgia button will hit you in the heart as the beginning is showing the therapy session of Sarah Connor in 1991 when she is trying to make people believe that Judgment Day is coming, August 29, 1997. 3 billion people are going to die, but no one is listening to her. So immediately you are thrust back into the pinnacle, the mother of mothers of the Terminator films, T2. I'm not going to spoil what happens after that, but I will say this: when you see this film, and I do recommend seeing this film, I'm going to let people know, you cannot miss the first 10 minutes of the movie. That is imperative. It sets the course for the rest of the film, but also, damn, there are some de-aging aspects in this film that I was a little dumbfounded by, and it kept me guessing a good 30 minutes into the rest of the movie. I kind of sort of was not paying attention to much that was going on because I was trying to figure out how in the hell they did this in this film. But know how they did it, but I don't want to say because again that sort of spoils who have done it.
So you know that was possibly Linda Hamilton's twin sister, because Linda Hamilton's twin sister doesn't look nearly as rough around the edges today as she does.
Well, there's that, and there's also the other factor of it. But the studio that did this, I know they kind of have a license on the way they de-age, which is I don't know if it's like exactly the same as Captain Marvel, but it's up to that sort of level that they did it. And I know how they did part of the other stuff because I talked to somebody about it. But again, I don't want to spoil that first part because I think that's we'll probably spoil it later on, but at least not in the first couple minutes of the podcast. But it then goes into, it's 1998. Film then transports us to the future that it is in this film in 2019.
2018.
You meet a girl named Danny. So now the film transports us to 2018 modern times, or at least modern times in this T-verse, 2018. And you're introduced to a character named Daniela, or Danny, and her family. She lives with her dad and her brother. She and her brother work in a automotive plant or something like that. She's trying to make her way in the world, get out of where she is, but also help her brother out. Drops in the, Rev 9, I believe it is. Yeah, Rev 9, new Terminator.
Yes,
and
who has the ability to Gemini himself.
Yes, and then also what at first you think, well, at least I thought was a Terminator. I didn't know what she was. Grace, played by Mackenzie Davis, who you find out is an advanced human.
Yes.
Now when it gets to the power plant, the plant that they are working at, that's some highs and lows of the movie for me. One, you've got some fight scenes that are pretty good. But then you also have some CGI that reminded me of Halle Berry's Catwoman, which is not great. But then they get out of there, they get on the road. You got some great car scenes. You got some chases.
Take a step back real quick. In Terminator Salvation, they did this as well with Sam Worthington's character.
Yes.
Yes, he was a Terminator. He was a human Terminator hybrid.
Well, yeah, and I remember that. But I know the thing is, he didn't even know that he was that. And with at least Grace, she actually volunteered to do all this because she knew what was going on. With Sam Worthington, he didn't even know what the heck he was when he woke up.
It
And
seems like they
they
learned a lesson from Kyle sending, even though Kyle Reese, I guess, should still exist at this point in the future. Kyle Reese being sent back in time to stop a Terminator was a really bad idea. The exception of, oh, by the way, you need to go knock up my mom. They needed sending a human back, a normal, regular, everyday human back to stop a Terminator is just a death warrant. So they had to augment a human with superhuman technology in order to survive against a Terminator.
Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty obvious. And especially in this one when you've got a whole different future. So all the technology is completely different. Because spoiler everybody, Skynet doesn't exist in this film. Now it's called Legion. And Legion is it's funny how in 1997, I guess the world has increased, but Legion definitely makes is a little bit more diabolical with the fact that with Skynet they set the bombs and killed everyone through that, and then had the Terminators kill everybody. But with Legion, they set the bombs and then they destroyed all the food so that all the existing humans in the future would end up killing themselves. Which it's like, wow, you guys have advanced in your knowledge, Mr. Robot guys.
In other Terminator media, such as Terminator vs. Robocop and Terminator vs. Superman, people have turned cannibals.
And that makes sense. And then in Terminator Dark Fate, you're on the road. You've got the Rev 9 trying to kill Grace, trying to kill Danny, trying to kill Diego. And then lo and behold, here comes Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. Applause were held in my theater. And that is that was one hell of an entrance, I know, in the film. You've got the little quips that she says, I'll be back and whatnot, but damn, she can hold a gun. I'm not a gun person, I don't want to get into that, but the way she holds those guns, whoo, that is some firepower, female. And you know what? That is one thing about this T-verse is that the female is future. And then you get on the road with Sarah Connor and Grace and Danny, and just trying to make sure Danny lives. And Grace tells the audience and every character in the film that it's like the Rev 9 will never be stopped, and it can't be stopped. It can be thwarted for a little bit, but it won't be stopped. But that's one of the things in T1 and T2. It's not like they ever say, oh, this is how you kill it, right away. This is how it's done. It's eventually you can kill it, but it's not like they ever say in any of those films, like, oh, by the way, if you just flip this switch, from good to bad, like in Chucky, it'll be done. Now, the CGI, I said before, you got the CGI that's a little bit Catwoman, then you've got the CGI a little bit Edge of Tomorrow, also some social awareness or modern day stuff with detention centers and how the Rev 9 lies and says he's a soldier for Afghanistan. Lo and behold, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes into play. Unfortunately, I thought was the weakest part of the film. He brings the funny, but he also brings a horrible monologue that kind of threw me off the film and made me question everything about it. But then it brings it back with an amazing fight scene in a C-5 airplane, and then the end. I would recommend seeing this because I think it's a solid sequel. It took 7 people to write the script, which is a bit ridiculous when T2 took 2.
Wow.
But
oh yeah,
yeah,
James Cameron's back for this movie too.
he is. It's solid. One thing is that you don't have to stay through the credits. Unfortunately, I wish they would have had a wraparound because I think that was a lost opportunity of bringing what happened today into the future, because that's something that's happened in the past and the different movies. But I thought that was a lost opportunity. But yeah, I say see this film.
What did you think of Danny's automatic just transformation into this Mexican immigrant factory worker to becoming Sarah Connor? Oh, sorry, she's both Sarah Connor and John Connor.
I honestly thought that was kind of seamless. Like she was sort of the backbone to her family anyway, trying to convince, like she helped her brother with his job and made him what he is. And with that perseverance and whatnot, it seemed very natural that she would be the leader. I know that was kind of like a sort of a reveal that everyone thought like, oh, you're going to be the mother of the next leader of the free world. It's like, no, you're going to be the leader of the free world. And I thought that was I didn't even think twice about it. I thought she was a solid new John Connor.
What did you think of Donald Trump's border wall showing up in the movie?
I mean, this honestly, I think is one of the few, if the only, I mean, I guess besides the original Terminator, where it really shows the times with, those political situations and how the Rev 9, like I said, how he, to get through a metal detector, says he's got metal in his, metal in him from Afghanistan. And the guy says, "Thank you for your service." I'm like, wow, that's another like little thing that I don't feel like the other films have really done, where these machines are using what's going on at the present time to get by and fool people.
It's definitely one of the more unique of the Terminator movies, especially for stuff that we're not going to get into in the review to talk about to spoiler it. I mean, the funny stuff in the movie was obviously there because Tim Miller is just that kind of director, and after directing Deadpool, I was definitely expecting coming into this movie to have some funny bits with Arnold. Not nearly as much as we got in Terminator Genesis, but we still got it, especially with Arnold and his whole backstory about what is up with his Terminator and where he's been for the last 20 years. Overall, I recommend the movie too. I enjoyed it, but I do see the flaws and the problems with the movie and why it unfortunately only made $30 million.
And that's also, a lot of people have said, like, they blame that more for the 3 sequels prior to this one rather than the actual story itself. Because I mean, I think people are kind of sick of sequels,
I think people are sick of
honestly.
Terminator movies too. I mean, nobody was
I mean,
asking for this movie. Nobody was asking for Linda Hamilton to return. Nobody's asked for James Cameron to do another Terminator movie.
true. Although, I mean, Linda Hamilton was honestly my favorite part of the film.
She was a highlight and a breath of fresh air after 3 sequels and 2 Game of Thrones actresses playing Sarah Connor.
That is true.
Yeah.